With the release of Danqing Island, we have a new map to fully explore, and of course, new story to dive right into. In this story, we have new mysteries to solve, new enemies and bosses to tackle, and of course, new goodies to unlock along the way. In today's video, I will help you unlock Danqing Island and walk through the first story chapter. If you are watching this after the release of 1.8, no worries, as this is permanent content, so take your time and enjoy it. In order to unlock Danqing Island and the Prologue quest, you will need to have completed the main quests AAuWj3cxXqB and Where the Stars Keep Watch first. Follow your main story quests as needed to make sure that these are done. We would now have the quest available with every stroke Yingwan unfolds. First, we need to set off to the Sea of Stars to investigate the disturbance. Click View on Map, and I suggest taking the Star Shore Warp Spire for the closest point. After zoning in, walk across the sand and head towards the right to get closer to the mysterious painting. Once we are close enough, Nikki will feel the disturbance from the other side through a dream. And she then speculates that this could lead to a whole different world. After noticing dark essence corrupting the painting, Nikki and Momo decide to pass through and investigate. Walk towards the painting and choose Enter. Nikki will be transported to a whole new place. After admiring her surroundings, she hears a voice calling out for artist Nikki. She recalls painting in her dream and decides it might be a good idea to ask someone who may know her about this world. Noticing the raft ahead, we can take it to get closer to the voice. With that quest complete, we have Danqing Island unlocked through the prologue. We can now begin Chapter 1. Let's now step towards the bamboo raft and select the pole prompt. After stepping on the boat, we have a quick tutorial shown on how to move with the raft. Please refer to your tutorial for the movement instructions depending on your device and controllers. My guide will refer to the PC controls. Also, while near shore, you also have the option available to reel in if you wish to pause anytime. To get moving, W will help move straight forward. A and D allows me to steer the raft left or right. The flora do have collision, but it will be a simple sway or bump you off to the side. As a tip I figured out, you can pause forward movement and then steer the boat left or right before moving again. This can help you move around more smoothly. You can also use Shift to move more quickly. Once you get close enough to the small island, the option to reel in will show up. We can check to see the map open up to us at this point. Head to the other side of the small island, and once we're close enough, a small cutscene will show that the rocks are fading away into ink. Momo is worried, but Nikki has some inspiration, and we can now unlock a new ability outfit from the Heart of Infinity. This can be unlocked for only 10,000 blinks. Unlock the Danqing Craft outfit, and let's try to craft it. We need 4 pouch grass to complete crafting. Let's now turn around and explore this little island. As we make a circle around the tree, there will be plenty of pouch grass growing. Pick up at least 4 to ensure crafting, and let's go ahead and craft this new ability outfit. We are shown a quick tutorial on our new ability, and when using the ability, we'll be able to aim at what we want to paint. The paintbrush icon will also flash briefly to show that it is eligible and ready. Aiming is quite easy, I found, as it felt almost like a magnet to the target once I was close. Let's begin painting these rocks and moving forward. Once across, we can speak with Xiaoming, who speaks of the eye dotting artist and the Yiwen Festival. We find out that Nikki has been missing for a day, and she begins to try and blend in through the conversation that she is, of course, the Nikki they were looking for, learning some names and stories. When called out about acting different, we can respond with either choice. Playing it off, Xiaomen will now begin to show the way to the village, Inkville. Be sure to step near the spire, Waterview Crossing, so you have it unlocked. Continue to follow Xiaomeng while discussing Yiwen and the festival, and then interact with her where she is paused. You can choose either option to assist or wait, and continue chatting. When done, follow her to the village where she announces that you've been found. We learn a bit about how the villagers respect artist Nikki and her passion for painting, and also laugh over Momo's love for barbecue. Some things never change. After being introduced to Ping Ping, we find out that she wants to form a Yingwang with us, and we have the choice between the Xiaobeng, Ronghua, Tuanshang. Feel free to choose whichever one you like best. We are offered a chance to meet some local artisans and deliver a gift to our mentor, which Nikki gladly takes on. Remember to step near the Warp Spire, Inkville Market, to unlock it along the way. Move forward to meet the artisans Scarlet, Blue, and Green. After learning stories about how passionate artist Nikki has always been in complimenting the artisans, we learn a bit about her mentor and then are tasked with delivering Ronghua over to her. Let's now deliver the box over to Miss Sui, right across the bridge from the village. You can respond either way to her, and we learn that Miss Sui spent the night looking for Nikki, even though it rained, and her umbrella sadly got blown away. After kindly showing her the Ronghua for forgiveness, she goes over the stage and details, including Nikki's role for the festival. After discussing the journey of Nikki being chosen as the eye-dotting artist and giving lots of encouragement, she offers a present for good luck. A 3-star hairpin that we can style with. Miss Sui says to find a spot in the crowd and wait for the festival to begin. Go ahead and take a seat when you are ready to move on to the next part. After a beautiful cutscene filled with music, dancing, and revelry, there is a sudden interruption by the first boss of the story update, the Masque Phantom. This guy is honestly kind of tricky. I even had to have a redo myself. So let's go over how he works in order to purify him. He is split into 2 main phases, one for the first 2 points of health, and then for the final health point. For the first phase, we see from 2 to 4 drums summoned and floating on the field. Hit the ones that match the mask colors shown. Watch the primary colors showing on the mask before doing any attack, as a misfire will cause all the drums to begin attacking back. Once successfully hitting all the correct color drums, there will either be a shout and pushback, or the barrier falls and we can hit them with a purify before being blown away to the outer edges of the arena again. This continues for the first 2 points of HP, and then we move towards the final phase. 3 or 4 drums will join the field at a time, and you must make a mental note of their colors at the start. The drums will essentially play a game of cups, moving again and again until they stop. It's up to you to follow the odd color one out of the group and strike it. This works the same as earlier, where we want to match the mask color. The main difference in this phase is that you will want to wait until the drums stop moving completely. Being too hasty could mean a misfire, and when that happens, all the drums will explode in AoE at once. For some extra tips for the fight, the drums can also throw orbs towards Nikki's direction. Dodge them or purify them to stay safe. The drums will spin like so before winding up an AoE attack, which you can dodge by jumping over the border of it. You can also outrange these circles on the outer edges of the fighting arena. If you are having problems, you can use the festival props on the edges to stand on to help give height and distance from the drums, especially if you need to be avoiding damage. Once defeated, your mentor and the villagers will come to check on you. The villagers are disheartened at the chain of events, but Miss Bai, who is the painting guardian, stays encouraging about the festivities. You can respond however you wish during this conversation, and everyone is reinvigorated about your job as the eye-dotting artist. Nikki takes the stage proudly and places the eye, but then the ink sadly fades off. Suddenly, several items in the festival area have begun to fade. With your Danqing craft ability, aim at each item to restore them. The villagers lament again about these events and other happenings, and Nikki needs to investigate the connection between it all. We then head over to Miss Sui and Miss Bai to inquire and discuss what could be going on. Miss Sui explains that strange things have been happening for over a decade, starting with an artist going missing and other objects. They mention that most people go missing, especially after rainy days. They speculate if something is wrong with the Loong that watched over them. Miss Bai mentions the pagoda seems untouched, and the Loong has only been seen inside or at Loong Peak. Nikki insists on investigating the pagoda to strive for answers. Miss Bai also offers to accompany her. Head towards the pagoda with Miss Bai, where she discusses the situation may have been fated, and also that she has never seen Loong with her own eyes, even though she retrieves the painting from the pagoda for the festivals. They comment on the red ribbons surrounding the pagoda, but Miss Bai mentions that they have not always been there, and the villagers seem to think that it represents their connections. Along the way, be sure to step near the Wonderbloom Grove Warp Spire to unlock it. Once you reach the pagoda, you may also step near the Long Pagoda Warp Spire here to unlock that one. Select to open the door to the pagoda, and Nikki's vision begins to blank. We transition back to being inside Inkville again, Momo calling out to you. Miss Bai confirms the same happened to all three of them. Undeterred, Nikki says she can begin investigating the village's strange issues instead for now. Miss Bai and Miss Sui began sharing details of the recent strange events. An artisan who disappeared 10 years ago, a farmer's garden hoe that turned to ink only 2 days ago, a keepsake box that turned to ink 3 days ago, and a small girl who has also gone missing for several days now. Miss Bai wants to investigate further together on the recent cases, and asks Nikki where to head to first. I'll showcase the order I originally completed them in: Healer's House, Farmer's House, and Liu's House. You can choose to do these in any order. You will be investigating all 3 cases before moving towards the end of this chapter. For the Healer's House, head towards Yun and Granny Yao within the village. Granny Yao is reminiscing on a song, but is having some memory issues of whom she's speaking with. Yun shares how she's having a hard time lately and even unable to see the patients. When prompted, she talks about items turning to ink, in particular the box that was passed down from her late mother. When she wanted to clean the box only a few days before, it began to darken and fade into ink, and now the box can't even be opened. After some discussion, Nikki would like to investigate the box itself and try to restore it. Talk a bit more, and then Yun points out that it's behind the house. Be sure your dancing craft ability is equipped, and restore the box using it. Yun is ecstatic to see the box restored and is determined to finally open the box, where she finds a letter from her mother. The letter reveals that the original gift from her mother was lost in the river back then, and also that her basket had also turned to ink, leading them to realize that this has definitely been an ongoing issue for some time. With some hints related to moonlight, Nikki suggests trying to find the lost gift at nighttime. Miss Bai points out that we aren't sure which side of the river to check first. You have your first important choice of deciding upstream or downstream. Choose upstream to continue the main story. Meet with everyone upstream at night, and speak with Auntie Chun, who helps with a hint that the lost gift might be something related to practicing medicine, as a support for her daughter. Nikki heads towards the river, and Momo notices one of the fish look kinda odd. Equip your fishing ability and fish until you find cloud-tailed koi that ate the birthday gift. We find a mortar along with the fish and hand it over to Yun, who begins to reminisce about her mother, sharing stories of her childhood and sharing her mother's words that seem to confirm that this must be the gift left behind for her to find. Next, we will head to the farmer's house. Head across the bridge towards the farmers' homes, and we come across 2 men arguing. Uncle Go is accusing Uncle Jin of stealing his garden hoe. Nikki interrupts them before they start throwing punches. After hearing them out, Uncle Go seems convinced that Uncle Jin stole a garden hoe from his yard based off the scent. Uncle Jin says he found the hoe at his home in the morning, figuring a family member must have bought it. The ladies pause their fight again and offer to get to the bottom of what's going on. Their wives then also show up, reprimanding the men and sending them back to their work tasks. They speculate the 2 men might have even been enemies in a past life, which continued into this one. Nikki is not convinced that they couldn't get along in this life, however. After speaking with the women, they begin their investigation with the faded garden hoe. Definitely don't forget to swap your ability back to dancing craft and then restore it. Auntie confirms after restoration that it is Uncle Go's. Nikki follows up if anything else strange has happened. She confirms that it happened overnight with 0 warning. Since they are definitely different garden hoes, they still wonder how Uncle Jin got a new one. The group moves to the other home to investigate. Along the way, don't forget to step by the fields by Inkville Warp Spire to unlock it. We find that Miss Zian is home, who is Uncle Jin's daughter. She confirms that she did not purchase the new garden hoe, but gets anxious after hearing that the 2 men fought again. After Nikki shares her experience with the Yingwang festival, Ziyan confesses that she lied. It was actually Lan Hui who purchased the garden hoe. and Si-yeon hid it inside her home. Before she could even come up with a story, Uncle Jin found the hoe in the morning. Miss Bai admits that keeping it a secret made sense, as Lan Wei is Uncle Go's son, and it would probably cause another fight anyhow. Si-yeon wants to meet with the ladies at dusk along with Lan Wei to come up with a plan. Head to the back of the house to find them, and you will find them conversing between each other. Lan Wei feels terrible while he was just trying to help. The most important thing is to figure out how to tell them the truth and keep them calm. Nikki wants to know more about why they don't get along first, and they relay several experiences that caused the rift between the two men to grow further apart, which are really nothing more than misunderstandings that have piled up, and that both the men have way too much pride to bow down to the other and admit their mistakes. Nikki finds the situation as an opportunity for them to make amends with the truth. When presented with the choices of who to tell first, to continue the main story, tell Uncle Go first. If you want to see an alternate outcome, you may choose to tell Uncle Jin first. Meet at Uncle Go's house, where both families gather to chat. Uncle Go comes out to apologize for accusing Uncle Jin after learning the truth, and offers a shangbao that shouldn't trigger his allergies as well. Uncle Jin is speechless, but then also offers an apology for his singing disturbing him at night. Lan Wei thanks Nikki and Miss Bai for assisting with mending things between them, and through the chatter, the fathers both seem to already be aware of Lan Wei and Si-yeon dating. Miss Bai seems taken aback at the change in status between the men and the families. And finally, we'll investigate Leo's house to find out what happened to Xiaochu. We can now head right back into the heart of the village and head over to the final home, located near the Inkville Market Warp Spire. Miss Bai explains that this is the home we are looking for, and escorts us towards the side of the home. Momo comments on the odd mark in front of the door entrance of the home, which Nikki notices appears to be a large swath of ink. Nikki tries to calm down Auntie Liu, who is upset that her daughter is still missing, but speculates that she has ran away from home. She continues to explain that she thought she was playing with her friend, Tian, but he hadn't seen her and she wasn't home by dinner time. When asked about anything else that day, she mentions getting their umbrellas repaired by artisan Chung, but something happened that caused her to argue with her parents and storm off. Miss Bai asks her about anything else strange from that day. Auntie Liu explains that there was a loud and frantic knocking on the door that evening, but by the time they opened it, nobody was there. Nikki reassures her that they will look for her daughter, and the more folks looking, the better. The mother seems to confess that she was usually quite harsh with her, and would really like to not scold her anymore, as long as she makes it home. After speaking with Miss Bai, you may then choose where to investigate the clues first. You can also do these parts in any order. You will need to check out all 3 spots to continue the story. Open the map and see all the spots that you will have to investigate. They are all within the vicinity of the village. I spoke with Xu first, where we learned that Xiaochu also argued with Tian before storming off. Xu had actually been sketching scenes from the festival that day, and thinks she might even be within one of the photos. When prompted with the photo, Xiaochu is on the right side, not too far away from the stage itself. She mentioned she recalls her possibly even coming back to the artisan's stall that same day. When asked about places she may have ran off to, Xu mentions that she played with Tian all the time and they did crafting together. But Tian doesn't seem to have any idea where she has gone currently. She also recalls specifics of just how strict her parents were, not praising her, and how she also became withdrawn due to it. Investigated behind the family's home next and came across a diary alongside Miss Bai. The pages discuss her struggles with her parents, and how it was only Tian that praised her craftsmanship. And then finally, let's speak with Artisan Chung, who speaks frankly about umbrellas being necessary to counter the cursed rain. Asking him about the day that she disappeared, he explains that he applies special coating to the umbrellas to make them waterproof and withstand the rain. Nikki asks if he's actually seen anyone disappear in the rain, but he mentions the current state of his family must be because of the rain taking them away. When following up, Nikki points out that the umbrella should have kept her safe. But Artisan Chung adds that after fixing the umbrella, the mother scolded her, and she stormed off. When checking on Tian, who did not have an umbrella, he witnessed the two arguing, and her smashing her umbrella in frustration. Artisan Chung kept the umbrella and planned to fix it, but didn't have any supplies available. With the story options available to continue the main story, choose to find the fan feather to help repair the umbrella. You can optionally choose to not fix the umbrella to view an alternate outcome. Chung hands over the umbrella for us to deliver to her parents and break the news that she might not be coming back. With the clues available, we follow up with Miss Bai to go over the evidence details. We get a cutscene where the rain quickly rolls in. Nikki uses the fixed umbrella, and Momo and her both notice something odd with a cat ahead of them. By the time they can even get closer, they can only find an ink spot where the cat was before. It now seems more than likely that without an umbrella, the rain-soaked Xiaozhu did not reach her home in time. We go to follow up with her family with what they have found. Nikki hands over the umbrella, and you have the choice to tell the truth. To continue the main story, break the truth to her parents. You may see an alternate outcome by giving a white lie. Nikki reveals that it was her daughter knocking on the door that evening, and that they simply didn't make it to the door in time. So she got soaked, and all that is left of her is the ink stain by the door. The parents are very regretful of their actions, and Nikki does her best talking with them through their grief. Miss Bai and Nikki speak about the investigations, Nikki pointing out that not all items turning to ink seem to be rain-related, and they definitely need more answers. They agree to head to the small bridge behind the village and meet up with Miss Sui to find any more information. Along the way, the rain starts up again, causing them all to panic as Miss Sui struggles to reach them, a dark, inky aura forming around her. Nikki gets pulled briefly into a whole other world, awakening from her dream when hearing her name called. She describes the other realm as like a painting, as she saw the Loong soaring through it, speculating that it's Inkville's. Miss Bai thinks it came from shock, but Nikki is certain that that was not an illusion. She thinks that the other realm could be holding all the missing villagers, and that they need to find the entrance to this place. Remembering the nursery rhyme from the local children, Miss Bai says it's not the whole thing. They think Granny Yao may be able to share the full lyrics, but they will need to find a good time where her memory is good. This lead might help them finally resolve the mysteries of the village. And that concludes Chapter 1 of Inkville's story. Did you also find it quite emotional? All the connections of the various families, good and bad, felt very grounded and realistic. I was actually pretty impressed. I'll have Chapter 2 available as soon as possible. Thanks so much for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe, so I know this video helped you out today. Check out my socials for more content, or become a member of the channel if you'd like to show your support. I really appreciate you all so much, and I hope to see you again next time.